love words. I love to read. I enjoy writing. And if you know me, I love to talk. And as an English teacher years ago, words were so important to me. And now as somebody who works with the children and the youth at the church, words are even more important to me. When Pastor Steve asked me to do a week of these devotionals, I thought about and I prayed over what to say, what to talk about. And I've decided I want to talk about words. Not just any words, though. I want to talk about church words. Words you hear in the church that are pretty commonplace, but I want to talk about what they mean in our everyday lives. The very title of this devotional portion of our ministry at St. Mark is The Call to Hope. So I want to start today by talking about the word hope. See, we all hope for something, sometimes without even realizing it. We hope for more money. We hope for more friends, peace in our lives, a job, a trip, a spouse, children, things for our children, all sorts of things. And when we tell other people our hopes, we sometimes call our hopes wishful thinking. But is hoping wishing? Do we ever really stop to think about what hope really means to us, especially in a Christian context? If you go to umc.org, which is the official website of the United Methodist Church, and you search the word hope, you're going to find a variety of articles. Everything from hope during the pandemic to the United Methodist Committee on Relief, global missions, Advent, and all that's great. But what does hope mean to you and to us as a church? Wikipedia says hope is an optimistic state of mind that is based on an expectation of positive outcomes and circumstances in one's life or the world at large. And from a biblical standpoint, hope's just that. It's a belief that's based on God's promises from the Bible and rooted in faith that God will never lie to us and will always keep his word to us. It's like the confident expectation of what God has promised, and its strength is in his faithfulness. In our lives, and especially right now in our world, we see a lot of suffering and pain and conflict, and we search for hope. Paul in Romans tells us how to look at our struggles as like an entryway for hope into our lives. He says this, not only so, but we also glory in our sufferings, because we know that suffering produces perseverance, perseverance, character, and character, hope. And hope does not put us to shame because God's love has been poured out into our hearts through the Holy Spirit who has been given to us. So you see, hope is a gift. Hope enables us to keep going, or like Paul says, to persevere for a long time, longer than a lot of us even think we can. And the reason is because we see the light at the end of the tunnel. And that glimmer of light, that's what keeps us going. And while it pushes us and prods us on, like Paul says, it's sharpening our character, which is giving us hope. In Ecclesiastes chapter 9, verse 4, it says, anyone who is among the living has hope. Even a live dog is better off than a dead lion. In other words, if you're alive, if you're still breathing and living, there's hope for you. Whatever we're suffering through or whatever we may have done, the Bible promises us hope through God. God is a God of second chances. He forgives us. He redeems. You know, sometimes during a particularly bad day, we find ourselves wishing time away. We want to speed it up and get through the rough part and get to the good part. And although we know that every minute we're given's a gift, when we wish time away, we're really just wishing for things to get better. We're hoping. We want a new start. In Lamentations chapter 3, it says, his mercies never fail. They are new every morning. The Lord is good to those whose hope is in him. See, God offers us a new beginning every single day. We want a new start, and God gives us that. And that is hope. The world, during a pandemic or not during a pandemic, can sometimes make us feel fear and dread. And that can make us feel sadness or despair or sometimes even depression, even for people who are usually really happy. But when we feel that way, we do have hope. Paul tells us in the 15th chapter of Romans, verse 13, and I love this, the God of hope wants to fill you with all joy and peace as you trust him so that you may overflow with hope. So no matter what trials we're facing today, let's remember that. Let's remember that our God is a God of hope, and let's allow him to fill us with joy and with peace. I don't know about you, but for me, hope is a very encouraging word.